Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. So I'm out here in the field by my apartment, and I came out here today, set up some cones, gonna do a little bit of field work. So I signed up for a tournament this upcoming weekend, but it is a doubles tournament. I will be back in Oklahoma, and so my son and I are teaming up. My youngest son, 15 years old, Dylan, he and I are gonna do a tournament in Oklahoma City, and so we're doing a doubles tournament. It's flex start. We don't know exactly what time we're gonna get started. He's got volleyball practice from like 10 to noon, so we're thinking probably 1:30, 2 o'clock tee time. Flex times aren't out yet. I've asked the tournament director kind of what the format's like. You know, are they gonna assign ahead of time, or do you get there and sign up for a time? So waiting to hear back, but we're gonna go do that. And so today what I wanted to do, I thought about going out and actually playing on the course, but figured a little bit more controlled environment. It is windy out here today. I've got as I'm throwing, it'll be a left to right, kind of quartering tailwind, but we're trying to hit gaps today. So 50 feet off the tee, I've got the tee box area set up here. 50 feet off the tee box, I've got a 12-foot wide gap, and so that's what we're working on today, is just hitting gaps, just getting comfortable. I have changed out a lot of discs in my bag, kind of been going back and forth on what I'm throwing this year, what I like, what I don't like, and so kind of with what I've been going with, we're going to be throwing those and just kind of seeing how I do. So I'm going to get some practice throws, some warm-ups in out here, and today is the first day I'm going to attempt not wearing the sling. We'll see how that goes. I've done some into the net in the apartment without the sling on. We'll see. We'll see how it feels, how the shoulder holds up. If I need to cut it short, I will. I'm definitely not going high power today. It is more about form, you know, getting the snap out there and being on target. That is really what today is about. Hitting those gaps, making sure that the lines I'm trying to hit are the lines that I'm hitting. So let's get this thing set up and let's do a little throwing. All right, so I'm gonna get warmed up using a few putters that I've got and a few of my approach discs. So with the putters, you know, my soft envy, like this one for something that's gonna reliably fade. And for the last, I don't know, since I did the MVP challenge, the circuit challenge in 24, this Fission watt has been great. I also have the soft neutron watt, which I really like. One of the discs that I actually have in the bag right now that I have not been liking prior was the Pixel. And so I have the Electron Pixel, and it's way, way, way too flippy. I can't put anything on it without it flipping over. But this R2 that Asher sent me actually flies pretty well. So it's kind of made its way into my bag, or at least something that I'm kind of going back and forth between the Watt and the Pixel to decide which way I want to go. And then the Berg X actually has made it into my bag. But I'm going to throw these a little bit, just kind of get warmed up, see how the off arm is feeling. All right, for the approach discs that I throw, you know, like I mentioned, Berg X has made it into my bag. It just feels really good on that forehand. I can really get it out there with a good flick and shape some lines with it. You know, I can get it to do a pretty good flex. It's nowhere near as overstable as my Razor Claw 3. And then I was bagging the A5 that Asher sent me, but I took it out. I prefer the drop. I know that this one's going to be a little bit more overstable and finish. Whereas there were quite a few times that I expected a finish out of the A5 and it went dead straight. So let's throw these a little bit too. I'm putting no power on these right now, just trying to get the arm loose. That was pretty pitiful. It is a beautiful day out here. It's a little bit windy. Man, it's like 62, sunny, not a cloud in the sky. But this weekend for this tournament, it's actually going to be in the 70s, mid to upper 70s there in Oklahoma City. So that's going to be, it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. I'm going to put just a little bit more on these. Okay, now we've got a 12-foot gap, about 80 feet out, a little bit uphill, but we've got a lot more of the field to work with. Kind of move down. Still got a ton of field that way. I've got the pavilion over there. Here we're gonna throw some mids, see how we do here. Currently have 5 mids in the bag. I've got the Origin, the Hex, Reactor, Glacier, and the Method. For me right now, that's a pretty good mix. A little bit high on that one. A little bit high, a little bit to the right as far as the gap goes. Again, a little bit high, but pretty much right in line with the gap. Maybe slightly over the right side on that one. I want to keep it a little bit lower. A little bit lower. It's a little bit lower. Still not great. But it was right through there. Glacier. Yeah, that's more like it. And then push out there, get a good fade. Yeah. Okay, not bad, not bad. Arm's feeling pretty good. Not too bad at all. Okay, so one of the things that I need to make sure that I am focusing on is grip pressure. I tend not to grip as hard as I need to a lot, and I think that's why I have a lot of early releases. When I was wearing the sling, one of the things I was playing with, and actually through that entire tournament, was suitcase carry. So coming through with the disc like this and then flipping it out as I come through the hit. And I don't know, I felt like I was getting, my accuracy was really good that way. But after, you know, a few weeks of doing that, for whatever reason, I felt like it started getting sloppy. So I don't know what I changed. So maybe I'll throw a few suitcase and just kind of see how they go. Looking at, you know, gap up there. Am I hitting the gap? Am I not hitting the gap? What does it fly like? Is it nose up, nose down? Oh, I grip locked the hell out of that one. Okay, so that was bad, but it shot out of the hand. Yeah, so I'm putting a little bit of anhyzer on it when I'm doing that right now. So I must be coming over too much as I come through, but it's definitely coming out of the hand stronger. It's got a pop out of the hand, which when I'm just kind of finessing it, I definitely don't feel that. And that was dead center in the line. So as was that one. I don't feel like I'm throwing any harder, but it looks like they're traveling further and they're on better lines. So I'm really thinking that the suitcase carry is a little slip on that one, but it was just barely off the line. And that was nice and low, driven, dead center in there. I'm gonna go look in the woods, see if I can find my Origin. So I really am gonna have to go back and look at this video and see, what am I doing with this off arm? I know, like when I was in throwing on the net, I was purposely making sure I come back with it and come straight down, but I know that that's not, I think it's just flopping out there right now. But it's not in pain, and it's not hindering me in any way right now. Worst case, it's making me not quite as efficient. Origin was way down there, but in the woods. All of these are 5 glide discs, so they all do fly really well, but you hit the origin right and it will fly a long way. The Glacier, surprisingly, is when you hit that good, very, very straight and carries for a long way. And then the Hex is just one that, man, I swapped out quite a few discs. As far as the my mid-ranges go, I've swapped out a lot, and I just really, really keep coming back to this Hex. Love the way it feels in my hand. And discs are very, very personal decisions. Don't select a disc because your favorite pro throws it. Select it because of how it feels in your hand, how you throw it. That's much more important than who throws it. Little nose up. Definitely a little nose up on that, but straight ahead, right through the gap. And that's what I meant when I said that, I felt like the suitcase carry was getting a little bit lazy. That one right there was exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't plant hard. And pull it through the way that I know gets me what I'm looking for. Like that. I mean, you can even hear it coming off the hand. It's much more of a powerful throw when you get that plant right and you pull through at the right timing. And the accuracy, I mean, I am nailing the gap on these just like I'd like to, which I didn't feel like I was when I was throwing it just normal. I mean, these are right down the center. Maybe not full power, maybe not, really putting it out there, but I'm getting them out there, okay? Yeah. Not disappointed in those. Those were pretty good. So I had a few goals, a few things that I wanted to accomplish or figure out coming out here for this fieldwork session today. Number one was to, see how I feel without the sling on. See if I can throw. And right now, I haven't thrown a ton of throws, and I have definitely not thrown anywhere near full power, and I'm not going to today. Feels good. Feels really good. No pain. It's swinging okay. Nothing wrong there. Another thing that I want to do, and having the camera out here is important for it, is I wanted to see as I'm hitting the line, when I'm throwing it and actually hitting center where I really want it to be, what does my walk up, run up look like? What is the angle that I'm actually going at? And I've worn in a pretty good groove here, so I can see that, there's been a lot of times that, when I was first learning, I'd say, okay, there's where I'm throwing, and I need to walk up on a straight line to that, keep the disc on this straight line that's out here, and it's going to go to the basket. But in reality, it is kind of a little bit of an angle because you get that stagger step in there. Let me step back so you can see it. You get that stagger step in there, so you've got that window that you're looking for, and then you can twist into it, or in my case like this, I get that plant, come in, drive through. I'm not angled. I'm no longer facing my target. My target's over there. The window is looking at my target, through the legs. And so I'm hitting that. So that was another one. And then the other piece was really I felt like I played the first half of my tags round this week really well. I was shooting really good. But really, thinking back, when I left the course, I thought I only threw one drive that I was really happy with. Thinking back, I actually hit, I think, 3 that I was really happy with. But I was back to, throwing like this, kind of getting set up and keeping my elbow out and up and coming through and trying to get a little bit of pull in and snap out. But when I come out here and I start throwing, those just are kind of sloppy and I'm missing the line and I'm early releasing or I'm pulling it. I started going back to the suitcase carry, and yeah, that first one, wow, took that one way off to the right. But couple factors in that one. I was lining up a little bit different. I hadn't been throwing that way. The first one definitely came out a little bit weird. But since then, I've been lacing that line, which is really what I wanted to do. So I'll probably throw these and then pull out a couple of fairway drivers and see what we can do with the fairway drivers. I don't think I'm going to go above a 7-speed today. Just kind of laying it out there, seeing what we get. And actually, even for this weekend coming up, I took the 11, 12, and 13 speeds out of my bag after this past tags round. And there were a few months there towards the end of the season as it started getting cold before I had my surgery that I just played with a maximum of 9-speed. So even that one, I definitely put more anhyzer on that, flipped it over. So I got to be careful of that. When I'm going to, actually for that one, if I'm trying to throw that one straight, I need to come in a little bit more bent over. So when I come through and come out on that, what would be an anhyzer, it's a little bit more flat or maybe even slightly hyzer. So you can make the adjustments just by how you're approaching it. I'm not going into any of this right now all that athletic. I realize that. But yeah, going to the 9 speeds, I feel like I hit the lines a whole lot more consistently. That one was definitely nose up, but right on line. Again, it was a little bit of that lazy, not planting and pulling through. But the 9 speeds just seem to work really well for me. It's kind of a sweet spot for me. Once I start going into the 10 to 12 to 13 speeds, I think I'm trying too hard. I think I go into it and I try and rip them too hard, and I end up just not being consistent. Like these throws here, you know, you can just kind of get into them and set, come through, and you've got, you know, a great line that isn't that much effort, and you aren't killing yourself. And scoring is more about being consistent and knowing where you're going to plant or place the shot rather than trying to crush huge distance. Not many of the courses that I play, definitely anhyzer on that one, are open courses. I play a lot of wooded courses, so this would not be a hole on any of the courses that I throw on, and that's why I've got the artificial gap out there, is because actually that gap right there is actually a little wide for even some of the gaps that are on my home course, and I will take you guys out on that home course probably in 2 to 3 weeks. Once I'm back from Oklahoma, I do need to get the round out there with the discs that Asher sent. So looking forward to that. I think in 2 weeks, I probably am going to go. So not this weekend, following weekend, I will probably try and get out for a backpacking trip. And then, yeah, get back, try and do the round with Asher's discs, try and beat my current rating, which did go up a little bit after the last tournament. So I think it's like 886 or something like that right now. 882, 886, somewhere in that neighborhood. Really, theoretically, it should be, if I go and play the way that I can play and should play, it should definitely be in the low to mid 900s. So end of the season, that's, you know, as long as my arm holds up, everything goes good, that's really what I'm aiming for, is to try and get that rating up there. You know, 930 would be great. Anything above that would be just awesome, but I know I'm capable of it. It's just a matter of consistency, getting out here, doing the field work, you know, beating in those habits and making sure that I'm consistent. Well, I appreciate you guys checking this out. I'm going to throw some more, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya.